Welcome to Sisters Not Saints, the podcast where we offer real-life advice from the sisters you've always wanted.
Featuring two real-life sisters, Kristen and Megan, and two real-life sisters-in-law, Hillary and Zoe.
Sisters, not saints. You might think they're saints, but they. Some of them are sisters, two of them have misters, but there's one thing that's for certain, it's their sisters, not saints.
Hi, guys. I'm Megan. We know you're Megan.
I think that's what we're
Hi,
supposed
guys.
to do.
I'm Kristen. Nice to meet you.
We always introduce ourselves.
It just sounded so... Hi, guys. I'm Megan. But that's what we always do. But you forget there's an audience, and so it just feels like you're introducing yourself to us.
This is Hillary.
And I'm Zoe.
And I'm Kristen.
We know you're Kristen.
Oh, man. So how's everybody been?
Well, we've been really busy.
We have been busy. I feel like we haven't recorded in a while. We've all been either sick or on vacations or working really hard or recovering from illnesses from vacation. Zoe, are you okay? I'm going to send her back to Memphis. Zoe, did you forget how to make podcasts?
What just happened?
She's having a meltdown, she says.
Just looking at y'all, listening to what you're trying to say. I was like, oh, you know what started it? Was that as soon as you hit play, I burped, and we just talked about how I need to not eat
You did
the
not do
M&Ms.
jazz hands.
Yeah, I didn't stop, and then I was thinking, I wonder if anybody heard that, and then it just,
And then you just got all caught up in your head.
and then it was like church giggles. I was like, I couldn't stop.
This is like Zoe on the cruise. All of a sudden, cruise Zoe's back in the podcast room. Yeah, we did. So we all, a couple weeks ago, took a cruise together. Hillary's family, Zoe and myself, and Kristen's family, and our dad and stepmom, and
Cruising Katie.
Cruising Katie. Of course, I was
Star of the
Katie had a
cruise.
yeah, she was a plus addition to the group. That was a great
A
addition.
big group, a 13 group
14, I think.
cruise
Yeah.
trip.
It was a big, big group. And Zoe just shocked the bejesus out of all of us. If you go to our Instagram page, we've posted a little bit of the cruise Zoe content, and she just, I would just say, went buck wild.
Well, she's normally very introverted.
She is very introverted, but on the cruise, it's like, you just could not hold Zoe back.
No,
Introverted,
she was
and
wild.
she likes an early bedtime. And on the cruise, she was voluntarily up until midnight. And she also gets like very motion sick. So I just kind of thought she would be kind of tucked away in her
Miserable.
cabin.
Boring.
No, not boring, because you're not boring. You're just set in your ways.
Well, that you would end early.
yeah, that you would just be like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm done with everybody. I don't want to listen to karaoke.
I did think I was going to get very overstimulated and be past run out my limit. I didn't tell Katie that before we left, but that was my biggest fear, was
her.
not her, but being
Just,
being with a whole group all day and then going and being with someone in the room at night. Like I would never have,
like off time.
yeah. But
But
no,
it was
she was
good.
the best roommate. We
Yeah.
had so much fun. It was I was not annoyed of her for 1 second.
No, I was not either. And
Me either.
I kind of expected to
she
be.
was great.
Because you just never know. Like, we had never met Cruz and Katie, so you just never know what you're getting into. And that's an intense like trip to go on with somebody.
Yeah, and I never think it's even about the other person. It's always about me.
Right, exactly.
Like-
well, it's not like my...
It's always about me.
Hi, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. So
It's
way to go,
interesting that
Katie.
Katie is very extroverted,
Mm-hmm.
and you're so introverted.
Yeah.
But you're a good match.
You know, something my therapist told me once was that there's no such thing as introverted and extroverted. There's high self-esteem or low self-esteem. And I'm not sure what to think about that.
Well, in what
disagree.
context? Like, what was the example you gave?
No, just that
Was it-
I was probably talking about sharing a room or like going on vacations with a big group is like exhausting and like I need time away from a big group. I just like need to not share a room with people, that kind of thing. And I think he was just like, no, like that's a made up thing that this century has created. Like it's not introverted and extroverted.
I
But
know.
so needing time to yourself would mean that you have low self-esteem?
Well, because you're exhausted from always being on. You can't be your real self with whoever you're with. And
Okay,
so-
but it's about how you recharge your batteries, and I don't see how needing to recharge your batteries at home without having to be on for people has to do with self-esteem. Do you know what I mean?
Because you're fake, you're acting whenever you're around all the other people. So that's why you're so tired.
I'm processing.
Is 'cause
So if
you're
I'm
not-
quiet, I'm processing.
Yeah. No, I've agreed and disagreed at different points. Because
I mean, I guess it's just you're dressing it up and calling it something else. Like, why does it matter if we say, oh, I have low self-esteem or I'm introverted? But I don't think the two are the same. Because someone who just truly is a homebody doesn't have anything to do with their self-esteem.
yeah, they're too afraid to go out.
But
I don't think so.
No, because look at, I would say even you or myself. I'm not afraid to go out.
I am.
Oh, well, maybe you have low self-esteem, but I wouldn't say I do. I'm not afraid. I just would rather be at home.
But why? Because what about leaving the comforts of your house don't you like?
It's not about not liking to leave. It's about liking to be at home.
But why?
Because my home has all of the things I could ever possibly need.
But so does other people's homes. And
I've been to all of your houses, and only Kristen's has lemon juice for my water.
Only because you put it there, probably.
I've looked at both of y'all's houses. No lemon juice.
like in the can, the processed lemon juice that tastes disgusting.
It's not processed. It's fresh squeezed lemon
Ew,
juice.
no, it's it never tastes like a real lemon.
You don't use real lemons?
No, because I refill my water 12 times a day. You know how many I have
That's
tried.
just one lemon a day.
No, I have tried, and I've even tried having a day of the week that I squeeze fresh lemon, so I have lemon juice for the whole week. It just doesn't work.
Why don't you do the frozen ones, the ice cubes?
Ice cubes would be a good solution to this.
You make a whole tray of lemon juice in the ice cubes. You freeze it, and then every morning you just pop it in your water. I mean, it would take, if you're doing cold water, that would take a while for it to melt. But
If you are happy with what does it matter to us?
Yeah, it's only fresh. It's only lemon in the juice. It's not like there's lemon and sugar at it. It's not like I'm making myself lemonade all day.
I'm just sad that you didn't tell me you wanted lemon juice. I would have it at my house for you if I knew.
I would like a bottle of lemon juice. And so if you
Add
could
it to
also
my
get a
grocery
bottle of
list.
lemon juice for your house, put it right next to the stool samples.
I threw them out.
Did you?
Yeah, recently.
Oh, wow.
And they never even got processed. That's sad.
No,
But yeah, no, I just totally disagree that just because someone enjoys being at home, I'm sure there is some crossover that people who are who are afraid to leave their house, but I think that is such a misconception of people who just like to be at home and don't need the stimulation of going out.
I will say this person had many degrees. He wasn't like a counselor or...
I also have many degrees.
He has many degrees in mental health and has worked for 30 years at various mental health
But could it just
aspects.
be that different studies have come out over time and now he just doesn't agree with those new studies, since talking about being an introvert and extrovert is kind of new?
Yeah,
I could see a lot of crossover as well, that some people who are introverted have low self-esteem, but
Absolutely.
I don't think I have low self-esteem, but I consider myself an introvert.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think I'm an introvert?
Hillary, no.
I don't think you are either. I think
Really?
you're at least an ambivert.
I think you're
Maybe an
moving at
ambivert.
a social pace that is exhausting.
I am very social and I like to be busy.
Uh-huh.
But it is very draining for me, and I have to have time by myself to recharge, totally by myself.
I'm definitely an ambivert. I have to have a mix of both, and it has to be the exact right balance or I melt down. I have to have my batteries charged in social settings, and I have to have enough time with people and friends, and then enough time to myself. So I'm not either. So does that mean I have medium self-esteem?
I feel like I could live in a cabin by myself and not see anybody for...
But that's unhealthy.
I would die. That would kill me.
I haven't even told y'all the amount of time I think I could do it for. I'm already... The cabin already got me. I'm no, I'm out.
I want to be in a city.
I think I could be in a cabin on my own by myself. I mean, of course, texting people, calling people, but not actually seeing anybody.
What's the number?
I'm going to say...
No.
Before I go crazy and feel like I need to go out and have a dinner, 6 weeks.
No.
Oh my God.
How
Too
long did you
long.
last in COVID?
Well, she was with
I
her
was-
family
yeah.
in COVID.
Oh, you were in their
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
She was thriving in COVID.
I was thriving.
Yeah, but y'all were
But
upstairs.
Y'all were together every day.
We were outside, in the RVs.
We were in
Yeah,
Town.
that's not...
But I think I could do it. Like my dream since I was like a teenager, young teenager, was to like move to Alaska for a year. Like just be up and gone.
And I never wanted to go to Alaska. I was like, well, I guess I'll never see Megan again.
No, I was only gonna be gone for a year.
No, that's not my dream. My dream is to live in a city where I can like choose. Like I can go up to my little apartment, cozy up for like a good little nap, and then go back out a lot. And it's my choice when I go in and out. Like lots of coming and going.
Okay,
But I don't know. I just can't reconcile the idea. Okay, so does
Right.
self-esteem mean confidence? Are self-esteem and confidence different? Like, what are the definitions?
I would
they're
say they're
very
the same.
Similar.
Right.
Okay, so your therapist told this to you. Do you classify yourself, Zoe, as an introvert?
Yeah.
And do you think you have low self-esteem?
I would say half and half. I'm extremes.
You are extreme.
I'm extremely confident in some areas, and then other areas, which I know is like social anxiety, I'm sure that's just low self-esteem.
This just reminded me of a story from whenever we were on the cruise. And it was the last night we were all doing the silent disco and we were all dancing and like having so much fun. And Zoe wandered off the stage first because, Zoe. And then I followed because I was like, oh, Zoe's out. Okay, I'm out. And then I was like, Zoe, did you see like the guy like hosting the silent disco? He was really into Katie. Like he was like, eyes locked on her, couldn't take, like was interacting with her, making faces at her. Zoe looks and she goes, he was looking at me too.
I never even noticed that
I
guy.
was like, yeah, I think he was like looking at everybody, but like he just really seemed to have it like eyes locked on. And she's like, no, his eyes were on me the most at the time.
Wait, the most extreme self-esteem confidence was when I was at that comedy show. I think I told you all about this, where that guy was,
Yes.
and I was sweating in the audience thinking that I was so beautiful. I was making him nervous. And so I was trying to make myself uglier and trying to hide my gorgeous face.
For the comedian?
Yeah,
So
so
that
the
he could pull
comedian
the
wouldn't
show
be
off.
distracted. Yeah.
By your beauty.
Yeah.
by
I
your-
was like trying to cover and like not make eye contact because it would just...
You're like one of those sirens that pulls in sailors from the sea.
And I didn't enjoy the show at all because I was so...
Worried your beauty would distract the
Maybe,
Katie.
maybe tell your therapist that story.
Right. So I say maybe you need to tell him these stories and decide, like have him reevaluate.
But the silent disco guy was doing that with everyone. That's all I meant, that he was doing it with everyone because I knew because he was doing it with me. But wasn't he looking at you?
I was never really.
I never noticed
looking.
that guy.
Yeah, I noticed like he was interacting with everybody.
Okay.
But I'm saying he was really looking at Katie. He was into Katie, what Katie was putting down.
Yeah, I think I had my
Interesting.
back to the DJ.
Me too. I don't
most
think
of
I
the
noticed
time.
him.
But he was also looking at you, Zoe.
It's fine. I have a lot of confidence. I don't even need you to tell me that.
you're like, I know he was looking at me.
Megan, I might need you to pause because the coffee you made was a little bit strong.
Okay. Pausing.
Do you need to go potty? Did you go potty, Zoe?
Okay, we're back.
Feel better?
I wasn't sure I was going to make it.
Was that an emergency?
It was almost.
Situation?
Yeah, emergency situation.
Okay.
Speaking of emergencies. So, I have a story about emergency potty situations. I have always heard people, mostly Chelsea Handler, but other people talk about pooping themselves.
Also, your husband and sister-in-law.
Yeah, yes. I mean, everybody, but like Chelsea Handler specifically talks about it a lot and has said like, it's not a big deal. Everybody poops themselves. It's happened to everybody. Literally every person has happened. The people who say they haven't done it are lying. And I've never done that. I've never
Okay.
pooped myself.
Okay.
I haven't either.
So I don't think that's true that everybody's pooped themselves as an adult.
Uh-huh.
But this past week,
It happened. You pooped yourself.
it happened.
Where were you?
My house.
Okay, that's a safe place.
I had
Wait.
COVID.
Wait
Okay.
a minute. First of all, how do you poop yourself at your house? You're at
It
your
happens,
house.
Megan.
But you're at your house.
This is what I'm saying. Zoe has told me this before, and I'm like, that's impossible. How can you poop yourself?
At your house.
You know when you have to poop. Go to the bathroom.
and you're at your house. I mean, it's just
Mine
like
wasn't
all
at
Then
my
it happened to me.
at your house.
But you were sick. I mean, I feel like that maybe
I was
excuses it.
I had COVID, but I had kind of an upset stomach.
Mm-hmm. So walk us through the day.
Okay,
Take us back. Paint a picture.
I actually went to the bathroom,
okay.
and I went. If you
Okay.
catch my drift.
Yeah. We're with you. We're with you.
And then
Drop the kids
I'm
off at the
done.
pool, as Jessica Simpson would say.
I'm done, and I'm left the bathroom. I'm walking towards the kitchen, and I have to toot. And I pooped myself.
Were you wearing shorts?
I think I had on sweatpants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it show through the pants?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't like a massive, like,
Like you didn't take a dump or anything.
no. But I was shocked. Like, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. It's never happened. It happened, and I was like, that didn't happen. That can't just have happened. So I run back to the bathroom, and it did.
Got confirmation. It's there.
And I was really embarrassed, but I told Zoe.
You told
Did you tell your husband?
I did. I immediately went and told him. I was like, you won't believe what just happened.
What did he say? He's like, it
Nothing.
happens to me all the time.
That's normal.
Wait, so Zoe, this happens to you all the time?
No, this has happened once to me.
Where
just
were
once,
you?
really?
Were you at home? You weren't at
No,
home.
I was at work
Work in what manner? Like
in an office.
Okay.
No one at this office knows this story. I never told them.
Okay.
And I think there's some listeners. So I'd like to use an anonymous name.
for yourself.
My name's Kristen. So this was it was like a long open office with 20 of us, maybe more than 20 of us in there. Very small, just one New York building and one bathroom in the middle of it. That everyone could hear everything. It was so gross. After lunch every day, all the boys would poop in there. It was just like the worst office to be in. Luckily, Costumes had a wardrobe, had a warehouse 2 blocks away. So we would usually spend most of our time over there, or if we had to go to the bathroom, we would go over there. So after lunch one day, I'm feeling terrible. I'm feeling really sick, and I'm like, I'm just going to walk to the wardrobe space. It's so hot, and I make it like halfway, and I'm having to like stop, and I'm sweating. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I make it to our wardrobe space. To get to the bathroom, you have to go into our space and unlock it and get a key with the toilet paper on it. So it was like a whole extra step. So even once I got to that building, it was like so many keys happening. I get to that first wardrobe space if I get the key to the bathroom and the toilet paper, and it just couldn't hold it anymore.
So it happened.
It happened.
Okay.
Luckily, I had clothing, fresh undies, all things that you need.
That's a
That were
Right.
yours, or they were just
No, they were
for work?
actually granny panties because they were for a 60s show. So.
It's a good time to be a costumer.
yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So did anybody find out?
Nope.
What did you do with the soiled clothing?
I threw them away.
It's in the trash can.
Yeah.
You don't think anybody found that?
No. I told this to my 2 roommates in Memphis when I was there last week, and both of them the past week had pooped themselves.
At work?
I don't remember. One of them was either at home or at the office. I think at the office.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember. The other one was on a trip with her new boyfriend. They were in a different country, and she didn't tell the boyfriend. That was like my first question. And
That's terrible.
Wow, that's
you know, it's
awful.
really bad. Like you were saying, you were trying to get to the bathroom when you really have to go, and it's like the closer you get to the bathroom, the harder. That's such a bad feeling.
And then when you finally get there and that like you're trying to unbuckle everything and get there in time, it's so stressful. Ugh, that's the worst. Well, I don't have this problem with the pooping, but I guess I'll let you know if it happens. But vomiting has always been, I've always had a really upset stomach kind of thing since I was a kid. And at work, I have vomited at work more times than you know. I've probably vomited everywhere. But anyway, I used to work at a building in downtown Nashville for 5 years, and there was a Panera on the bottom floor. And so part of working in this building was you got free drinks at Panera and you could refill it all day. And so I had this 32-ounce cup on my desk that was empty. I started feeling nauseous. I knew I was like deep in the bowels of this building, so far from the bathroom, but I started feeling really sick. All of a sudden I had to throw up. The only thing nearby was that cup. I had to throw up in that cup at like in my little cubicle with people around me. But they never knew. And I had to dispose of the cup. And that's like the worst. No one knows that happened, but it's like the worst, most disgusting thing that I've ever had to do. It's so gross. And I still think about it.
How did they not know?
Yeah, you really don't think anybody knew?
No, I'm a really silent.
She's a very quiet.
You would
vomiter.
never know. I could do it right here, right
Ew,
now,
don't.
and you would never
Yeah,
know.
please don't.
I won't.
The worst
I'll
thing
let
that's
you
ever
know.
happened to me at work regarding a bodily function is, and this isn't my story, but I'm going to still tell it. But we have like a public bathroom at our office. And so one day we went in there and it was like somebody had exploded from the inside out. It was on the walls. It was on the ceiling. It was everywhere.
Ceiling?
Yeah, it was literally like someone had pooped themselves and then painted the entire room with it. It was the weirdest thing that
Your bathroom's open to the public?
well, not the public, but like whoever's like coming into our office.
Oh.
So, and we didn't have a way to know who it was, but it's literally like, I mean, so we were like discussing is like whoever left that situation had to have been in like some kind of weird shit. Like they must have had poop all over them.
But you have cameras. There was no
we
evidence.
didn't have cameras at the time. But
What did you do?
well, someone had gone in there and they were like, I think your bathroom needs attention. And so I think
Hired that company to come.
Yeah, it was like I called a company. I was like, someone's got to come out today and like in a hazmat suit and deal with this.
Mhm.
It was bizarre. The other weird thing that happened one time is someone was in our office filling out an application. And at this time, we were in a different building. We didn't have like a public restroom. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. We don't have a restroom. And she's like, oh, okay. I was like, but if you need to leave and come back, that's fine. And she's like, no, I'm okay. And then she peed in our lobby.
Like
She peed in our lobby.
on herself?
Yes.
And then on the floor.
Did she pull her pants down or just
No, so at that time we did have cameras in the lobby, and so we went back, and once we like went out there and realized she had peed in the lobby, we rewound the camera, and no, she just was standing up and just peed.
She probably couldn't control it. I mean, it's kind of on you that you
Well,
didn't have a bathroom.
It's not on me because it's not my responsibility to have a public bathroom. And
There
if
are
you-
bladder issues that you just
But
that-
wouldn't you
some
at least
people
walk
have
outside?
that can't control.
well,
yeah.
that's what I said. I was like, if you need to leave and come back, we were in a building with a restaurant next door, so there was a public restaurant.
Maybe she
public
couldn't
restroom
make
next
it
door.
though.
And she just stood there and like, I mean, you could tell she was trying to hold it in, but
It's kind of sad. Maybe she had one of those. When you get older, there's so many bladder disorders. You can like
She-
grandma.
she wasn't old.
Well, I mean, but still.
Well, she knew because she asked.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the time that it took her from the time she asked me to, she could have walked to the next door over.
I don't blame her for this.
If
I feel
she
like
had
she
said-
couldn't control it.
Okay, you tell me. Sorry, ma'am, do you have a bathroom?
Oh, I'm so sorry. We do not have a bathroom open to the public.
I'm gonna pee right here in the lobby. Can I please use it?
Oh, if you just open this front door, that's about 5 steps away, and
Sorry,
walk 5
you just said
steps.
no. I'm gonna pee here. You
And
just
walk
told me no
5
again.
steps. There's a Subway right next door that you could just go in there and they will let you use theirs.
But there's some bladder issues where your bladder's out of place, and if you move, maybe it would have spilled out. Like maybe she just truly couldn't make it those 5
But-
steps.
okay,
you know?
but
Then she wouldn't have been able to make it to the bathroom.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Had I let her
know.
use our private bathroom in the back of the office, it was like 30 steps away. In theory, the bathroom next door at the restaurant was closer.
I still feel bad for her. She didn't want to pee in your lobby.
I think she could have
did.
walked outside.
Yeah,
know.
she could have.
Oh, we've all said that, and then look, I've puked in a cup at work. You pooped your pants. You pooped your pants. We've all had our moments, okay?
I haven't.
Yet.
Yeah, don't be too cocky about
It's
it. Look what
gonna
happened to
happen.
Hillary.
Yeah.
You know what? Another weird thing that happened to me. My parents, when I was in high school, installed this doggy dually in the backyard. Have you heard of these things?
Nope.
I don't think they make them anymore.
No, they
but-
do. I actually saw one in the store the other day.
So we had installed this doggy dually in the backyard, which is just a container that you bury underground. And when you poop, or well, sorry, not when you poop. When the animals poop in your backyard, you scoop it into this container and it breaks down. So it's like a septic tank, but for dog poop.
I
And
have
so-
seen
And like you
something
add like
this.
chemicals and stuff to it, so
Yeah.
it like breaks down and
Right.
turns into like a sludge.
Exactly.
And then it goes into the soil and like
My aunt has that, but
fertilizes.
she just has a hole in the yard.
Okay. Well, it was buried behind where my car was parked in high school. So one night I was getting ready to go out. Stop laughing. It's not funny. I had to get something out of the back of my car, open the car door, and all of a sudden I felt myself sink into the ground up to my knee, and it was just filled with poop sludge. And at the time, flare jeans were in, and I was wearing flip-flops, and I lost. So I like begrudgingly like pulled my foot out of the slime. It was literally knee deep. Lost a flip-flop that I loved in that doggy dually. There was no recovering it. Like there's no way to go, you know, knee deep into sludge.
And then she walked inside, and me and my mom and my dad, we were all sitting there. And Kristen walks in and says, I fell in the doggy dually. And our mom says, don't go on the carpet.
She was like, get out, take your pants off out in the garage. Don't come in. And I was like, I can't be naked in the garage. I'm covered in poop. But anyway, that's been like a running joke in the family ever since. So like, don't step in the doggy dually. Like, obviously I didn't mean to. You had to bury it right behind my car.
Okay.
Those are some disgusting stories. Should we move on to some...
Less disgusting questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get to some questions. I want to hear what people need help with this week. We've had a lot of submissions lately, so thank you guys for submitting all of your questions.
Okay, so I've got a question about somebody who is up for a promotion at work. They said, I'm up for a promotion and I have an expectation for what I want my salary to be, but I'm unsure if it's reasonable, if my expectation's reasonable or not. Is it okay to ask my coworkers what they make before
Who just said no?
I go in to negotiate?
Yes.
Megan said no. Zoe said yes.
Always ask everyone. Get all the info you can. This is how the men keep you down, is because women don't ask other men and women what they make.
Okay.
But your employer doesn't want you to know what you make so that you can make less. You are the employer, Megan.
As soon as I said no, I was like,
I was sitting here
I'm
thinking
going to
maybe
get
HR
so
said.
in trouble for this.
HR would say no. You're never supposed to discuss your salary at work.
Because
Literally-
they want to keep the people down.
Literally this top, the girl who works in our office, she called me today and she was like, oh my gosh, you're never going to believe what happened. This girl who just started a job for us today, she's literally out on the floor asking people what they're making. And I'm like, okay, you need to let her know that if she continues doing that, they are going to let her go. And they ended up letting her go. Now, all this to be said, I work in industrial staffing. So everybody makes, there's no wiggle room. There's no negotiating. It's just an hourly wage that people are getting paid. It's not like Joe Blow off the street comes in and he's going to make $4 more because he's Joe Blow. It's everybody's making this X amount of dollars for this job.
I think, okay, so that was my HR answer. Was HR always says never ask because it's company policy. They will let you go. But my human answer is yes, you need to ask. Not your coworkers, because that puts them in an uncomfortable situation. You don't want to find out that your coworker who's doing less than you is making more than you, but you're friends with them and it makes it really awkward. I think there's so much data out there on the internet, though, like Glassdoor. You can find other people that are doing similar jobs and find them online and find out what the data points are and take those in and negotiate with your boss that way. That's probably your best bet. Like, go in with data. Also go in with your metrics and say, I've delivered these to the company. I think I'm worth 30% more because of these things that I've contributed. And that's hard to argue with. So you have to have facts on your side when you're trying to negotiate for more money. Don't ask your coworkers. That just makes them uncomfortable.
No, I think
it
you
depends.
need to actually ask if you're friends with someone who's willing to tell you, because HR is always going to lie to you, and you need to know what someone is actually making at your office if you want the confidence to go in and ask for more money, because they're always going to say, well, we don't have it, but somebody else is making X amount more than you. Like,
yeah, it happens.
I have been in this situation before where I was promoted and they told, and this is not my current job, FYI, it was a job years ago, but I had a really big promotion and I know the person before me had left, and I found out what they were paying that person and they offered me less than half of what they were paying her.
Oh, no.
But because I knew that and had figured it out and talked to them about it and they were open with me, I didn't go in and say, oh, I know you're paying so-and-so this much, but I was able to go in with the power of knowing what they were capable of and what they had.
Yeah, and not getting a no.
And I did have my metrics to say, no, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I'm doing this amount of hours. This is how much, all of that. But it gave me the confidence to know, because if they would have said, which they tried to say, well, that's a lot of money. We're not paying everybody. I would have caved much easier, thinking, well, maybe they really don't. But because I knew and was confident knowing what they had, that I kept pushing for it because they wanted me and I knew I could push for what they were already paying, and I got it. And I wouldn't have done that had I not known.
But I will say that HR has not as much control over what they pay as people think, because people will come in and say, I heard my friend is making $90K a year. And the pay grades are, every job is assigned a pay grade. And so it may be like a grade 32, but maybe because they've been there for 4 years, they're now in like a grade 33. And so you just don't have the same leeway in HR.
But if there's a range, there's always going to be a range. They're going to say 30 to 40.
Right.
And HR is going to try to get them at 30. And if that person doesn't have knowing, let me try to get to 40, I can use...
Well, can I say not HR? Because HR...
I know they're just being told what to say.
The business. Can we blame the business?
Okay,
this has been my life. I've gone to battle with these people for so long to get people higher salaries. And it's literally always the line of business that's saying, sorry, no, my budget won't allow it. And I'm like, yes, your budget will allow it. You can pay this person $10K more because you really want them. And turnover is very expensive.
And it depends on, who you're arguing with. I was arguing with the owner of the business.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't HR.
Right. That makes a big difference too.
Yeah.
So it's good that you had those facts. But it can be tricky. I don't know. Any kind of workplace negotiations. I mean, I always knew people were making more than me and they were men. That stuff happens. And what do you do about it?
You go in and ask for a raise.
Yeah, you do. But, you just have to go in with facts on your side.
Yes, you do. And with confidence.
Yep.
That boss told me afterwards. Well, he actually told, so he was the owner, but he went and told the person above me, my boss, that I had balls. And he was like, she really has balls. I had to give her a big raise, but I was really insulted by that.
Yeah. Did you want to, you should respond with, no, I have breasts.
It was just such a
yeah.
I
mean,
a
it's
douchey
demeaning
guy thing, to say. But then I did encourage another female that I worked with who'd been there a lot longer than me and hadn't had a raise in years. I was able to encourage her to go in and push for it.
I think the thing we can all do is once we get a platform or we climb a hill is help the people behind us, make it easier for them. When I had people that were reporting to me, I always tried to get them promotions and pay increases, so that their work was recognized. So hopefully you have a boss that's doing that. And if you are a boss, be that kind of boss.
Yeah. I'd say for this question, it just depends on the situation you're in. And if you have friends that you work with that you're close enough and can trust, definitely ask them. You don't want to get in trouble by going around asking everybody, especially if there's a policy where you're not supposed to. But
yeah.
Oh, actually, that just reminded me. On the previous job, they were offering everyone a really low amount. And I asked a guy I knew, I said, what are they telling you? And he said, I prefer not to say. And I was like, that is so rude.
But
I don't know. I mean, I feel
no, I don't have a problem with that.
I don't either. It just becomes so awkward. It can become awkward in
Right.
relationships because you're not best friends with these people. So it's so easy for resentments to build up.
But you
No.
find out he's making more than you, and you're like, but I do this, this, and this.
But we all know that the producers are lying and they're all trying to underpay us. So I just wanted him to confirm that either he was also getting a really low rate or that, no, he had actually gotten higher. So everybody else also needs to ask for higher because we can all get it together if we're all going in saying, well, we're not going to do the job.
But maybe he's saying, okay, you pay me this and you can pay everybody else that, but I'm getting this.
He wasn't your ally.
He was a snake.
No, I don't like him anymore.
All right, what else you got for us, Hillary?
okay, this listener says that she is 49 years old. She's divorced and she's really tired of dating. And she just feels just down on her luck. And she said, will I ever find love and happiness, or is it just too late for me?
It's too late. You're just out of your prime. You're divorced. You're used goods.
Terrible and not true.
I mean, both of
That's
our
not
parents got remarried at what, 50-ish? I don't know, something like that. 49, 50.
50-ish, yeah.
So no, Go on a Disney cruise and find the love of your life. That's where our parents met their spouses.
Yeah.
So, no, it's not too late.
It's not too late. There's a...
Are you just repeating everything I'm saying? It's like a chorus of, no, it's not too late. It's not too late.
It's not too late. No, I was just collecting my thoughts and...
No, and we also know someone that met their spouse in divorce care. So they were in their 40s or 50s, went to divorce care, met the love of their lives. You would never imagine that they've been with anyone else. They're like perfect, meant for each other. Could not see them with anyone else. I don't know how they were married to other people before each other.
Happens all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also
Definitely.
49 is not that old.
It's not.
No. And Zoe's grandmother lost her husband when she was, 80-something, late 80s? And now she's in her mid-90s and has a boyfriend that she travels with.
Living the dream.
And, yeah, you can always,
It's never too late for anything. I mean, you can restart your whole life anytime in life.
yeah.
What's that sign Mom has on her house?
Yeah, what is that sign? Never too late for your happily ever after?
It's never too late for your happily ever after. So...
How appropriate.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. So, no, you're not too old. 49 also is not old. Change your mindset.
I don't know where you go. I'm not in the
Supermarket.
I don't know, like where you find 49, 50-year-old singles.
Well, you just said on a Disney
Divorce
cruise is where
care,
your parents
Disney
found their...
cruise. I don't know, like where else they hang out, churches. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess find out what you're interested in and then put yourself in those places and look for similar people.
Though I will say I have a friend in her 40s and she is divorced. She has 3 grown-ish kids and she has realized that she really likes younger men.
Oh, wow.
She's a cougar.
What's interesting to me about that is the men that are into it, like the younger men that are into older women.
But it does make sense when you think about it because...
Mommy
it's-
issues?
Yeah, I think it is a lot of mommy issues and it's like someone that cooks meals for you, does your laundry, yada, yada, yada.
God, that sounds like a
that's-
nightmare of a
Right.
relationship.
I know. I don't really understand. I mean,
I have 3 sons. I don't want to take on a young boyfriend.
I guess
Yeah,
there
give
are
me an
other...
old rich man.
I guess there are other... Well, I mean, I will say she's been with a younger man for quite some time now. And I think she is like getting sick of it and is now she says she's ready for an older man.
Are we breaking up with him on this podcast for her?
They're like semi-separated. They're like...
Hopefully they don't listen
I was
to
going to say,
this.
does he listen?
No, he doesn't speak English, so I'm safe.
Spoiler alert.
Aw, hope he doesn't know.
Do you know
cut
who
that
I'm
part
talking
out.
about yet?
No.
Okay, the next question is actually somewhat similar. It's in the same, I don't know. Okay, I'll just read it. This woman is in her mid-40s. She said she's getting older and dealing with body changes, and she just feels really uncomfortable in her own body lately. And she's asking, how can I learn to love my body again?
Oh, love that you brought this up because I love my body.
Zoe's therapist, are you
Here's
listening?
her confidence side.
We just need to send this episode to your therapist.
No. Okay. This is how I got self-confidence. Regardless of what other people think I look like, I think I'm amazing. And that is because Kim Kardashian, Oprah asked her, do you think you're beautiful? And Kim Kardashian was like, no, I wouldn't say I'm beautiful. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So I just look in the mirror and I tell myself I'm beautiful. But on TikTok, somebody's therapist told them to stand in the mirror for 5 minutes naked every day.
Yeah, I've heard this before.
And I always think that just being naked in your house is a great body confidence builder. Like just get used to yourself, your body.
Do you spend time naked?
Yeah.
See, okay, everybody makes fun of me. I always tell people this, and everyone's like, you just say that so nobody comes over and like ambushes you. And I'm like, no.
Why would I don't care if people ambush me. I don't care if people come over. Like I'll put on a robe. I'm constantly running.
I know,
to
that's
find
what I tell
clothes.
people. I'm like, yeah. No. But they're all, my whole family is like, even whenever I was going out and looking, like when I was in the process of purchasing a house, I went with my dad and his wife to look at a house with my realtor. And we were looking at this house that had like houses behind it. And Carrie with the realtor there, she's like, oh, you're not going to be able to have your naked time because the house is right back there.
Carrie's from Rhode Island. That's Megan's interpretation of the Rhode Island accent.
So yeah, the realtor I could tell was like,
Sorry, Carrie.
Okay.
So do you stand in front of the mirror for 5 minutes and tell yourself you're beautiful?
No, I don't need to. But if you're starting from
But did you?
no,
you're
because I
saying how
never
you-
needed to.
But you said this is how you became confident. Was Kim Kardashian said she wasn't beautiful, and you were like, I am.
No, I just had to look in the mirror, like chin up.
But do you believe that Kim Kardashian doesn't
No,
think she's
she-
beautiful?
yes.
You
No,
think, no, there's no
I've heard.
way.
I watch every episode of that show, and she's always talking about how gorgeous she thinks she is.
Because maybe Oprah changed her.
I
Maybe
don't
she
think
watched
so.
that episode.
That's a lie. She always
I-
thought so.
Maybe.
No, she
but
said,
would
I think I'm pretty, but she was like, I wouldn't say beautiful.
But would you
That's a
get
lie.
so much work done if you were so confident in yourself?
Exactly.
She
has low self-esteem.
She does a lot to her body, her hair, her face. It's not like you see her like lounging around in her sweats with no makeup on.
we saw the before, right? We saw season 1 of the Kardashians.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
As,
So
right. Like
if
as
she felt like she was beautiful,
yeah.
she wouldn't have changed so much.
Mm-hmm. That's what my hairdresser always says. She's like, we're not ugly, we're just poor. Like, because look at the Kardashians. We saw them when they were poor and what they looked like versus
they weren't
now.
ugly though.
No, they
No,
weren't.
they weren't.
But they were not at all. But I'm just saying it's funny that they must have thought so because they've changed so much if you look at their before and afters. This is not helping our listener, but
Listener,
stand
walk
naked in the
around
mirror.
naked and tell yourself you're beautiful. I
Yeah.
agree because it's very easy to trick your mind. My therapist has told me similar things. Like when I feel like I'm dying to tell myself I'm healthy over and over again.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things to that. But yes, telling yourself you're beautiful, as silly as it may seem, does work.
And also, I'm sure you are. Like, our standard of beauty is shifting because we're all on these stupid screens in our faces 24/7. And we have filters and we have makeup tricks and we have people with unrealistic expectations. No one looks like that. I mean, even supermodels wake up and say, I wish I looked like I do in my pictures. Like, nobody looks like they do on your phone.
True.
Yeah.
So just adjust your expectations. I'm sure you are very pretty and you're just being hard on yourself.
Yeah. Well, she was also talking about, she's getting older and she's not used to her new body because your body does change as you get older and you go through menopause and a million things. And I know it was similar with having kids. My body's very different than before I had kids. And I think you have to kind of like saying I'm beautiful, you have to kind of say what you appreciate about your body. Because I remember having to be like, my body created another human. My body is feeding this human. My body is, because I was very, very sick after I had my first and felt like I didn't belong in my body anymore. And to just appreciate what your body is doing. My body's keeping me alive. It's keeping another human alive. I'm able, look, my legs are walking. They can hold me. My arms are strong enough to hold my baby. If you start appreciating all the things your body is doing, you learn to love it.
I think that's great advice. I mean, I think it's something we'll all have to come to terms with. I feel like I just had a big birthday this week. Not a big birthday, but not like a milestone birthday, but a birthday this week. And I was thinking about aging and thinking, in 10 years, that is going to be a very different birthday. Like, that's scary because 10 years ago, I didn't feel like that, like aging was going to be a thing. But I feel like in 10 years, it is going to be something I'll be thinking about. So I don't know. I think mindset's going to be a big part of this. And I think everything Hillary said was spot on. Think about all the good that your body's giving you and has given you, and then maximize what you can from it.
Yeah. And the more you take care of yourself, eat healthy, move your body, the better you feel too.
Yeah.
All right. So we have time for one more question?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. So everyone's homework for the week is build your confidence. I feel like we talked a lot about confidence this week. Tell yourself you're beautiful, walk around naked, and then let us know how that worked for you.
You're going to love yourself. You're going to think you're hot shit.
And then
'Cause I
send us a
certainly
thank you
do.
note.
Let us know when you're extroverted, when your self-esteem is high.
And if it's not working, send us your questions. Ask us how we can help. Hit us up at sistersnotsaints.com for your anonymous questions. Be sure to follow us at Sisters Not Saints Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget to leave us a review. Those who have left a review on Apple Podcasts, thank you so much. We read all of them. They're so appreciated.
You're our favorites.
Yes, definitely. And we'll catch you guys next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.